Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Anno 1800. Coming at you with more of our Import Island series. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. In our last episode, we were on this island and we were trying to get the steam carriages up and running, and it proved to be quite the daunting task to get it all complete. And since then, I have done all the necessary things to get a full load of steam carriages coming out of this island. And I think it turned out pretty good. I think we got a lot of really good production flow going here. Let me introduce you to what's happening. So, of course, we set this up already over here. We've got our steel being made, of course, over in here. And, of course, we're making our little bit of wood that we need. And over here, we are making all the brass. 4 factories making brass. And then we need 8 factories. These things are slow. 8 factories making chassis over here. But those are up and running as well. And then down here, we are making the motors of the steam variety. And then those steam motors, along with the chassis, create and supply 2 of the cab assembly lines, which are the steam carriages. And they are looking real good. And to do all this, we actually needed power. So I had to get power up and running. And we're doing the oil thing. And we're sending the oil up in here because not only do these guys need power to operate, but they're also getting the boost. So in reality, these are actually operating at 200% or somewhere really close to 200%. Which is actually more than I needed because these are all operating at 100%. And so eventually these, I think, will potentially run out. These were ahead of pace because they built up storage while I was getting the power going. But what I might actually be able to do is, if I need more steam carriages, I won't need to double this. I'll just need to double everything else, which is kind of encouraging. And the other option could be to simply eliminate a couple of these buildings and, reduce the workforce needed and the expense to do it if we don't need that many carriages. But I feel like we're going to need a lot of the carriages for Import Island. Speaking of which, let's just go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and set up our trade route. And we're going to go from this corner back here all the way over here to Import Island. And it's all about the steam carriages. Where are we? Boom, there they are. We got 267 of them in storage, ready to go, ready to ship out for a low price. Let's get them on the move. 3 and 4. So very quickly, we will be filling up Import Island with lots of steam carriages, and we'll see just how much the demand pulls them away. I can't imagine they eat up too many of them because they're extremely labor intensive to make. So hopefully you only need so many cars to get around, right? It's not like a cup of coffee every morning. So hopefully the pull isn't too bad. And so let's just check in here on our island and see what's going on. The glasses is something I'm going to need to address. I think I'm going to need to set up another operation making more glasses because it seems to always be going up and down and I can't ever seem to get on top of it. But I think I may have solved the coffee and cocoa problem, and everywhere else I think we're pretty good, except, of course, we have our steam carriages on the way. Power, we need more power. So that's what this episode's all about, is getting more power to the people. And that means, specifically, more of the oil. So we'll eventually, when we get around to it, we're going to come over here. We're going to set up a couple more of the oil power plants, of course. But we can't do that. There's no point in doing that until we have more oil. So let's see what we can't do about supplying more oil to these people. Okay. Upgrading the workers. I also, as you can see over here, I did a little bit of work. I moved the engineers over in here. And I got this filled in. Now we're up to workers now. And we'll eventually get up. I think we'll pretty much have just enough room, basically, to use up everything here to fill in this area all the way down to around here, like this. And then there might be a little bit of carryover, and if there is, that can become part of a little village that we put down here by the docks. But that's something that we'll deal with at that time. What I do want to do is get on to our project for the day, our big project for the day anyway, and that is more oil. So we have oil here over on our, well, we don't actually have a name for this island yet, Lutengraben, but this is where we do our bread island stuff and our Pepperidge Farms 2.0 kind of stuff, and we got more bread than we need, but it's better to have more than we need than not enough, right? So we're going to make some oil. We're going to make all kinds of oil. The first thing we want to do is, let's actually do it like this. Engineers, like that. And then the first thing you want to do is get the refineries up and running. And we can also need the harbor, I guess. So let's put the harbor in. And we'll put it right here on the edge like that. And you can see here I've actually, thinking ahead, you know, thinking ahead. We have an oil tanker ready to go. As soon as we get this up and running, we'll be able to start getting more oil over to the place with the things and the stuff. Okay, so oil refinery. So we need to, of course, set this up so we can fit 3 inside of each. And we, of course, want it to be relatively straightforward. So I think what I want to do is put like one here. Maybe there. I think I like that. And then I want to put one in here like this. Maybe something like that. And then the rail from this one should run right along there. Yes, it does. Perfect. And then, of course, we need the rail to get over here. And I think, I'm not sure if I can come across this part or not. Let's just see something here. Let's go like that. And I'm curious. Yeah, it is going to let me across there. Perfect. So I could just slide that guy right in there. And I actually went one further than I ended up needing to. So there's the oil getting picked up perfectly like that. This guy, of course, needs the wells. So we'll just pop those on there like that. And this guy needs his as well. And now we have got all kinds of oil getting picked up. Fantastic. And so that allows us to come in here and grab this guy. And we're going to set up a trade route going from... sorry, I almost clicked on the wrong island. From this island over to Port Island. And this, of course, will be maximum oil with the oil tanker and go. So that is that. This guy will come in here. He doesn't actually gonna have. He's not gonna actually have oil to pick up at this very moment, but that's okay. He'll get there going eventually, and we'll have more oil for the stuff. So that's that. And the next thing I wanted to take a look at is something that I tend to. I don't want to say ignore because I know that it's there, but I just don't tend to use it nearly as much as I should. And that is, oh, these guys. Oh, I could actually probably stand to put. I just noticed this. We have this massive dock over here, so I'm like, why don't you just use that dock over there? But this is the quicker route for them. So one thing I could do, just to maybe speed things up a little bit for some people here, is I could just throw on another pier along here. Doesn't seem... what do we want to do? Could put 2 in here if I wanted to. What do those need? More windows. Of course they need more windows. Alright, I'll deal with that another time. That was absolutely not the intention of coming over here. What I want to do is, totally sidetracked, I want to put in a trade union. I don't use the trade unions and the people that can go in them nearly enough. In fact, I do believe even a couple comments have come in on the series asking me to use this kind of stuff more often. So I'm going to try to do that in the future. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this guy right here by these oil refineries. And I'm going to go ahead and plop him down just like that. And we're going to need a road getting up to him, I do believe. Let's just go ahead and put a road in there like that. And these fine folks right here at the trade union, are going to be adding in this young lady that I found here, which gives 20% productivity to oil refineries. So what that's going to do is it's going to obviously make these guys work at 120%, as opposed, or well, I guess they're already operating at 300, so it'll operate at 360% because we've got 3 of them. But yeah, it'll just suck out more oil more quickly, and therefore, when we go to pull the oil over from here to Import Island, we'll be pulling out that much more. And then my hope is, if we can get super lucky, we can find maybe even 1 or 2 more of that, or either that person or another one that helps it with oil refineries, because yeah, we need the oil up and running and doing as well as we can, because there's limited oil here. I could end up importing it from the New World if I wanted to, but there's fairly limited oil on the islands in this city, or in this region. There is the oil here, which we're already picking up, in here like this, and I have some of it, a limited amount, heading over here to our original island. But I am limiting the amount that is actually allowed to go over there because I don't want it to be too much, because I also need this place now providing the power, or the oil, to give power to this island. So because of that, and these guys, I'm just going to go ahead and level these guys up. Of course, we're out of bricks again. Yeah, so anyway, this is also taking oil from that same island. And then now we'll have 2 islands. This island here, which we've just set up. And of course, our export island over here, supply island, which is also providing the oil here. But when we were providing just oil from one location without the trade union in there, just this one location, this island was struggling. Our import island was struggling to keep all 3 of these. In fact, you can see this is already at missing goods here. So it's almost like one island with 6 refineries, or 6 oil wells, cannot supply half of our city. It feels like it's like it can cover 2 and then sometimes the 3rd spot. So if we can crank up the production of those 2 places, maybe if one can't cover half, if we can crank them up, maybe 2 can cover the whole thing. If, like I said, we're really getting really high productivity. So we're going to keep our eye out for more productive people to put in trade unions to keep our oil going, because we got 6 spots we got to cover here. So that's the plan. Anyway, so what I got to do is, at least temporarily, I don't know exactly how this is going to look, but somewhere through here, the train will come up through. But for now, I'm just going to create a line for the, what am I doing? Engineers, and we need the tracks for the oil to get across here. So I'm just going to go ahead and let me just put it like in here, like that, for now. And somewhere, it'll probably be like right on this edge here, I'll put the other oil, because there's going to be one here in the middle trying to reach into there, and there'll be one down here that needs to cover the engineers that come down this way. So for now, I'm just going to put in one more. And the key here is to try and find that spot where the power is just reaching the middle, but not actually covering off. Sorry about that. But not actually covering off the park that we're going to have in the middle here, because of course we don't want those god-awful, ugly power poles in our park. So you can see here, we just get up to the corner on this side here, and we're just kind of there. And we just kind of get to here, but just barely as well. So what we want to do is put this... We want to put the oil refinery... I keep saying oil refinery. Oil power plant in a position where it will just kind of reach to this line but not go further. So what I can probably do by looking at this is probably put it somewhere in here, one would think. So let's go ahead and say we're going to put it, I don't know, let's just try something like this. I'm going to delete right there. And then we're going to bring the track in. And then, of course, we need to bring the road in as well. And I'm actually going to bring the road in. I think I might actually do it right next to it. At least for now. I can always make an adjustment, but remember that the road, where the road comes out, is actually the indicator for exactly where the range of the power goes, right? It's not about the track. The track just brings the oil in. So as we go to the engineer here, our engineer, boom, boom, and what do we want with power? Sorry. The one with the lightning bolt on it. All right. So what I want to do is I want to leave it off. I think I'm going to go like this. And then we'll go like this. And then what you can do is I can put the road going to this guy here like this. And as soon as it touches, you'll see the power go up. And you can see, actually, I think did a pretty good job. Although, it looks like we haven't reached to here yet. I don't know. This guy, like, for instance, won't actually have power. Well, I guess this guy doesn't have oil yet, so he definitely wouldn't have power yet. But this in here, I think this guy would definitely, this guy might, but this guy would not. And this guy is never going to reach to that. So in reality, what we actually need to do is come further over to reach this. But we don't want to go further up too much this way, necessarily. Well, we do, I guess we do want to get to there. So we do need to bring it over some for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something here. I'm going to go like this. I'm actually going to delete this off. And now we've learned a little bit, right? I'm just going to wait. I don't want to delete the track and get this guy caught up. Oh, I guess, you know what? Doesn't really matter. Sorry. Sorry, train. I was about to say I want to get it moving there, but in reality, that's no good for us because I need to move it's not going to matter how much oil I have inside the power plant because I'm getting rid of it. So what I can do is I want to leave some space here. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy like that. We're going to try it anyway. And now we're going to try to... I did not mean to do that either. I need this track to continue like that. Ooh, actually I need to delete this track and then put it back in because it's got the road on there still. And then the road will be closer this way. And it looks like we're still missing that one. We're not quite close enough. But you got to be careful because you can see this track coming up here. And the further I move down, the more this track's going to come right up into here. Which actually kind of concerns me. I feel like the way to cover this house is probably... I don't know if there's no really any way I can get that guy closer without moving everything. It's almost like that house is destined... Because if I move this, like I said, if I move this over another section, this will get to here, but then this will be sticking out into here. I really want to get the power to everybody, though, so we got to figure this out. Let's try it. Let's try moving it over one more. One more try, everybody. Which means, of course, that we need to completely redo all this. Oops. And let me put the track back in. Engineer and the railroad track. And now what we can do is put the railroad track coming up here. All right. And then what I'm going to do, I have an idea. I think this is going to work quite well. Because what you can actually do is, it's all about where you, at what point you touch the factory with the road, okay? So let me just try an experiment here. I'm going to put the power factory, the factory up here. And I'm going to put it, no, I don't, it's kind of snapping to the wrong spot here. I need this track to continue up out of the way so it's not snapping to the wrong spot. There we go. I'm going to put it right here. And I can get rid of that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the road come up through here. And then the road is going to come along this way. Just like this. And then the further... So what's going to happen is the further I put the road connecting it here, the further up this area that we're going to move the power, right? And then if I move it back here, it's got longer to travel along this way. It's not a lot of difference, but it's the difference between having it come to here and having it stick out here like this. So I'm going to start by just putting the road like this and see what happens. And you can see here that we do now have power just barely getting to this. So this guy should theoretically get power because this is touching here. Hopefully. That's worst case scenario. And that's actually from having it touch right there, which is the soonest spot we can. If you were to delete that, just to kind of show you, let's say I moved it back to here. Now all of a sudden, it's not... it's kind of got a weird graphical glitch there. It's got the power line, but it's I think it wants to just be to here. Let me just see what happens here. It's kind of an... I don't really know what's happening there. That's some sort of a glitch with the game. There we go. And then if I extend the road... Yeah, there you go. So you can see here the power line itself is only going to here, which of course isn't far enough. It's okay here. It's actually perfect here because it's not extending out anyway at all. So you can tell that I'm definitely going to have the power line extending into the park a little bit if I want to accommodate getting this here. So then the question becomes, once this guy has oil, does this guy have oil yet? He is running power. Okay, perfect. So what we want to do is see, this guy, of course, does not have power. This guy does, because he's getting it from this direction here. So now it's all about testing the limits of how much. Now again, this, for most people out there, I apologize, because this isn't even significant to you. But what we want to do is get power to this guy while limiting the amount of power pole that gets into the park here. Because remember, these universities will be gone eventually, once we've upgraded our engineers in the area to investors. These guys will go out, and this will all become a beautiful park. And we don't want to have power poles in the middle of it. So now it's about just testing where we put this thing. So if we put it one further down, we do have the power poles coming along here, but it's only sticking in one. And you can see here that it's just getting to this point here. And the question is, if we click on this, does it have power? And it does. So it looks like we've probably found our limit. But we're going to experiment one more time and move it one further away and see what happens. This is just kind of learning about the game and what happens with the functions and that stuff, right? So you can see here the pole doesn't quite reach as far. Before it got to here, now it's gotten to here. So this is no longer getting power. So you can kind of see how that all works. So we're going to have to live with the power pole just getting just a little bit into the park there, but I'm okay with that. So we bring that back, and we put this here like that. We go ahead and we can delete the rest of that road. And now we have our point at which the factory... In fact, you know what we could do? In order to just kind of leave some more space for trees and not have the road along here, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to have... This would be the equivalent, right? 1, 2... I think that would be the equivalent. Let's just check something out here. I'm going to try this. Yeah, that would be the equivalent. That would be the equivalent. All right. Easy enough. So now what we can do, this guy's getting power. The coffee is still, it's weird, the coffee, man. I don't know how. We have 3 boats on that. We're going to have to make more coffee or something. It's crazy. So we've dropped off more oil, like I said. And now what we can do is we can go like, what am I doing? Culture. Get our trees. And we can just line this whole area with beautiful trees. Just like this. And now it's like, what? I didn't know there was a factory over there making power. Well, I guess you can kind of see the smoke, but not much you can do about it. We're limiting the visual as much as we possibly can. And then as we come in here, we can just go ahead and we can actually just teardrop these guys and get them going in there. Clean up our mess a little bit. There we go. So, what's interesting is that these guys are running out of power because they're focusing on making sure these guys are getting power more now, which is kind of funny because we need power to all of it, of course. And hopefully we'll have multiple trains going here, and with the 2 factories bringing it in, there's none there currently, but this guy's got a decent amount on board. This guy's still got 59, so he's going to be able to drop off somewhere as well. Go ahead and publish it, my lad. There you go. So this guy's going to jump in here and drop off some. This guy can actually... Oh, he's coming over here again. These guys have got oil. 80 and 63. And these guys have none, but he's deciding to go to the ones that have lots. Like, that's a little frustrating. That's a little frustrating. But oh well. What are you going to do, right? So there you have it. There you have it. This guy's emptied up. So now we have all of the power going to the people. And if you look over here to the investors, again, the coffee is an issue. I got to fix the glasses. Hopefully that cocoa isn't an issue either. I'm going to have to take a look maybe between episodes about making sure that these are running. We need to get the glasses going perfectly. I need to make sure that coffee and cocoa are handled. And of course, we've got our steam carriages coming in now, which is fantastic. So if we look up here to our population, investors. So is that's the global, right? No, that's import island only. Okay, there you go. So the potential right now for investors is just under 7,000, and we're filling in close to 6,000. Okay, I gotcha. Good to go. So what we want to do, of course, is I think we have to hopefully get to 10,000. And of course, this whole area still needs to fill in. So literally, we're going to double our investors on this island when we have all of this filled in as investors. This section here will be engineers, and then this section down here will be engineers. But we will definitely be well over 10,000 as the time comes along. See, we're really quite close on a lot of these. The cocoa just, I think, sometimes jumps off, and I got to figure out the coffee if I need more coffee on the getting made or another boat bringing it over. That'll be 4 boats. I don't know about that. But anyway, things are looking pretty good. We got things powered up and ready to go. And we'll be able to increase investors. In fact, if all we have to really need to do, if I could solve these problems, we can make all our investors. We can make it happen. We can make it happen. Although we're not satisfying the happiness as much as we should. That's definitely something I need to get to work on, is making sure that the happiness levels are being reached. And I haven't even addressed pocket watches or jewelry yet. And the penny farthings, again, another problem I need to solve with penny farthings. Maybe we make more penny farthings over on Supply Island, because we do have an exorbitant amount of steel being made over here for no reason. So we might be able to figure out some sort of production line to get the penny farthings up and going better there. Anyway, I'm going to call it there, folks. Thank you so much for joining me once again. I hope you're enjoying this series so much. And also, don't forget, we have a brand new series out on the channel. The Sunken Treasures DLC series is underway. Do not forget to check that out. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.